So the big question is what's going to happen to UK house prices in this year and going forward. Now we have an article on the Money to the Masses website with that exact title where we analyse the past data in terms of the house price indices that are published to give an idea of where the market could be going. And the first thing you can see is the UK house price index, which is the first index I'm going to talk about. Now this is based on actual completed sales, so that's both cash sales and those with a mortgage, and it's considered the most accurate information that we have, though it does have a bit of a time lag. So for March 2025, there's the time lag because we're in June now. In March 2025, it showed the average UK house price at £271,000. That's an annual change of plus 6.4% and a monthly rise of 1.1%. Moving on to the nationwide house price index. Now this is based upon Nationwide's own mortgage approval data, and it's reported that the average price is now £273,427 for May 2025. So the data is much more current. Now that represents an annual change of plus 3.5% and a monthly increase of 0.5%. Moving on to the Halifax house price index, that's also based on in-house mortgage data, and the data shows for April 2025, so it's a month earlier, that the average price is £297,781, but more importantly the annual change in house prices was 3.2%, but there was a slight monthly fall of 0.3% there. So you can see it's a bit of a mixed bag. Now the final index I'm going to talk about is Rightmove. So the Rightmove house price index, that's actually based on asking prices on its portal. So this gives you more of an idea of what sellers are asking for their houses, not actual transactions. So for May 2025, the average asking price was £379,517, but the annual change was 1.2%. So it's lower than the others with a monthly rise of 0.6%. Now, if you want a breakdown of all the monthly changes, you can look at the article on the Money to the Masses website or what's on screen, but I've given you the high level figures, and the takeaway is that, as I've mentioned, Rightmove is about what sellers are hoping to get. Nationwide and Halifax are actually using prices that are based upon mortgage approvals to get their indices. And then, of course, we have the UK house price index, which is based upon data from house completions. But what's interesting is that Rightmove's asking prices are significantly higher, yet the reported annual growth is lower than the completed sales from the UK house price index, or even the mortgage approval data from Nationwide and Halifax. Rightmove themselves even noted that the record house prices that they're showing for May seem to be driven by seasonal factors, and that new buy demand has actually slowed down. Now, this gap between asking prices and what properties are actually selling for can tell us something about the market. So asking prices reflect the optimism of sellers, or perhaps their initial ambition, while completed prices, on the other hand, reflect what buyers are actually willing and able to pay after all the negotiations taking place. And when that gap widens, it can indicate that the market is cooling off, or that buyer affordability is becoming a real constraint, forcing sellers to be more realistic and accept lower offers than they might have initially wanted. In fact, Rightmove suggested that the latest price increases are the lowest for 9 years, meaning the current market favours buyers, so it's a buyer's market, and is more subdued than usual. So for buyers, the message seems to be don't necessarily take asking prices at face value. There's likely to be plenty of room for negotiation than there has been in more recent times. And for sellers, it means you need to be more realistic with pricing from the outset, especially if you want to push the sale along and attract some serious interest.